Hello, we're Tamriel Downunder. It's lovely to see you. This is the first time we're actually streaming on the actual Tamriel Downunder channel,
Woohoo!
hence the small technical difficulties, which we'll have sorted for next time. As we're doing a chat today,
Probably.
yeah, this will be
Maybe.
fine. Like, it's. Let's go with definitely, shall we? This is the first time, as we're just doing chats today, it's fine. I'm just streaming it pretty much from my house. I'm Icy. We also have Angry Wolf. We have Maplinator, and we have Daku here today. You'll see our Twitter and Twitch handles. Please give us all a follow. That would be awesome. If you're not following the Tamriel Downunder channel, it would be awesome if you would. That would be so cool. Click the follow button because we would like to get this channel affiliate because then we can save all the VODs and do all sorts of stuff for the channel, and we can keep that sort of stuff going on. So that would be fabulous if you could throw us a follow on this channel. So we're here tonight to talk about the new content that was coming for Elsweyr. We're going to talk about the TES25 celebrations. And we're going to talk about fundraising, and we're going to talk about whatever else comes along. We have a hard time limit, I think, of an hour. Is that right, Maplinator? Because apparently some of us have a life. So
Also, like 2 hours.
Yeah,
2 hours behind.
it's the
so.
yeah, that's right. The map's in Perth, and the rest of us are on the East Coast, so he actually can go like out. So dragons, yes, Miss Fiji. Dragons are coming to Elsweyr, and we are going to Elsweyr as well. So let's talk about the things that the devs were talking about during the Boston PAX, which finished, what, last week? Last week, I think.
Yep.
Let's talk about first what people think. Let's start with the big topic. Let's start with Necromancer. At the end of the presentation, they showed a bunch of Necromancer play. What do we think? Thoughts? Start with
the map. What do you think?
Did you get to that bit of the video map, or shall we skip you?
I did. I didn't
You
watch
did? Okay.
all of the gameplay, but
Okay. Yep.
but I did. And I watched when the embargo was lifted. There was a bunch of other content around, so I had a look at
No, that's right.
skills and some of the gameplay, and it certainly looks different. They're really going for that. They keep talking about the unique identity for the class, and I think the whole concept of skills being augmented by the presence of corpses and sometimes the position of those corpses is going to be a really kind of challenging form of gameplay. I think it'll raise the skill ceiling, I guess, on the class. So like anyone will be able to play it, but I think the best players will get more out of the class, if that makes sense. I mean, that's going to be true anyway, but it's going to be a harder class to master, I think, because it's going to require a lot more movement and just awareness of what's going on than some of the other classes. So that's really interesting. There's a few skills in there that I'm like, oh, really? My favorite was
like cheesy or
the one that just really got me, that I was like, that is going to be so annoying, is the bone armor, or whatever it's called, the major resolve and ward. So the resistance buff for the class also has a passive chains for like the duration of the ability, which is like 20 seconds or something. So you cast that to get your armor buffs. Oh, and by the way, if anybody attacks you at range for the next like 25 seconds, then they're going to get pulled in without you having to do anything, with like a 5-second cooldown. But still, that's going to be really annoying.
That'll be awesome for a tank,
PvP.
Though.
Oh, good for tanking in PvE, but you can imagine fighting necromancers in PvP. They don't really, it's like lots of skills, lots of classes have that skill, right? Like Templars have got their rune focus, Sorks have lightning form, Dragon Knights have the dragon armor. Like everyone's got a source of that buff. So resistances are really important in PvP. So lots of people are running that that kind of skill, but not many of them have that kind of passive utility attached as well. And it's just going to be, yeah, I'm going to be very scared to attack necromancers, I think.
It's going to be really interesting. Absolutely. Angry and Deku, any thoughts about necros?
There's that one ultimate where you spawn the what was it called again? It's
The
like
Flesh
the flesh
Colossus?
outro. Yeah. That looks insane
It's really
and hella annoying, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like kiting, even like for PvP, you'd be kiting around, doing the trees. All of a sudden, this freaking flash action just comes at you. It's like, what? Like all of a sudden, you could almost like troll people with it as well. I feel, especially in PvP.
Yep.
I'd definitely like to find out for sure.
Yeah, I did see some of the footage. I watched the video while I was doing things around the house on the wireless headphones, so I listened to most of it. Then I came and ran back in. I'm like, oh, what are they doing? So I did. It's the life of a busy parent. But yeah, that was sort of how I got most of it. But I did see some of corpses aren't just what you kill. You can summon your own support, which will then die. And you can use the corpse of that. So, but they were saying it has to be up for at least 50% of its lifespan before it is available as a usable corpse, which is good. But I can imagine there could be some hackery and trickery on how you position that to do certain things, like put it up somewhere, and then you pull your tether in, because they said enemies can get damaged if they're inside that tether, so you can pull the tether across and do damage
the
to
line.
Yeah.
So
it could be an interesting way to do a little trap, that sort of thing, depending on how much damage it does anyway.
And
it's like
Angry
a
Wolf.
highly strategic.
No, that's right.
Sure.
Thoughts of necro healing, as you're the resident expert?
Yeah, I would definitely going to try out the necromancer as a healer. I don't know what sets I'm gonna wear just yet, considering that Earthgore is getting a major nerf, so
it's not that
unfortunately.
bad.
Is it?
I was in tears.
I missed this.
Did you?
Yeah,
I think it was in one of the. Is it in the patch notes? I think it was somewhere, but it has come out that they're getting a nerf.
Right, fair enough.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
We all know why, though.
Oh yeah, especially in PvP.
Because it's OP in PvP.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I've spent time 1v1 taking someone down, and they'll be down to 5% health, and all of a sudden Earthgore procs and bang 100%.
Yeah, that's not going to change though. What they're removing is the group heal, so it will still do that in a 1v1. Anyway.
Okay, so it'll still hit 1.
Oh, so it's more of a PvE nerf then.
Well, for all groups
interesting.
As well,
yeah.
As far as I'm aware, is just the group heal. It'll only affect one person. So
okay.
The sky is not falling.
It's raining blood.
Yeah, like what Digital was saying in chat just then. Like, you guys remember when the Warden first came out, and like everybody was a Warden. Everyone wanted to try it out. It's gonna be like that, 100% for like at least a month. So
I think Kitty's saying that in chat.
Yes,
everybody will be, including me. Sorry.
Yep, me too. Oh, I'm getting that healer.
Oh, totally.
There was something just related.
Yes, go for it.
To that, just related to that. We may be moving a little bit off Necros, but everyone will be starting Necros, right? So they'll be starting a new class, a new character. Sky Shards will be able to be. Now, I remember they said about being purchased if you've achieved all Sky Shards for a zone, but I didn't pick up anything on how much it would actually cost.
No, they didn't mention cost. So they said you need the achievement, but they didn't say which particular achievement. So it's not like they didn't say. So I don't know if it's for that zone or if it's all the base game or all Sky Shards.
I think it was zone based.
It was zone based. They said it will be for crowns only, so it's not in-game gold, and it's per character. So you can't just pay it and say I'm locking. One cost unlocks for all characters. You'll have to pay to unlock per character. So, and it will be something that they're trialing, and they did specifically say we'll consider doing the same thing for like Mages Guild, Fighters Guild, some of those other ones as well. And look, to be honest, while I feel I don't think I would pay for the Sky Shards probably would for Mage's Guild, because that one I don't like. So
Oh
crowns only. Now there are some in-game things where you can. There's no. Oh, actually, no. This won't work probably. So there's an in-game system at the moment where you can basically get someone to gift you. You give them gold, and they gift you something in an exchange rate. And there's some trustworthy guilds that are set up to facilitate that. This won't be an option because it's based on your achievement. So there's no gifting of this system. So you will have to do it with your own crowns. Now, if you're an ESO Plus member, you get more crowns than the value of what the ESO Plus is every month. So that's one option. You can buy crowns. To be honest, you should almost never buy crowns directly. You should, if you need some crowns, you should just like buy a 1 month ESO Plus subscription. Get your 1650 crowns. It's much better value. I actually priced this today. Yeah, or unless they're on sale. Or you need to buy something big like a house. Fine, but like honestly, like in Australian dollars, $18 to get 1,500 crowns, or what is it? I'm not even sure what the monthly rate is. 15.
I think
it's still $15. $15 to get 1,650 crowns.
1650.
1650, and all of the benefits of ESO Plus. So, like for real, if you just buy 1 month, it's much better value. So, stamina necros. Thoughts? Got my train of thought back.
Lots of stam morphs.
There's a lot of stam
right
morphs.
away. Lots of stam
I
morphs.
don't
So
know
that's
much
good.
about Steam, so I'm out of this
Yeah,
one.
that was that was something I was wondering for a while, because you think about Necromancer, you're like, well, that's just all magic, so stam's going to get left out, but they've actually gone the opposite. And,
It
thought
looks
about stamina.
They have. It sounds really good, and they've kind of done it in a way that's sort of, I guess, kind of lore friendly, where it's like, yes, you're a necromancer, but your stam morph is you're summoning a skeleton with a bow, which actually works really well. And one of the other things they said, which I thought was really cool, is for a stamina tune, it's not just you're running caltrops, endless hail, snipe,
poison injection,
injections,
trap.
and then just like 1 or 2 necro skills. It actually, they said specifically, no, you'll be able to run a full bar of necro skills, which is like for a stamina. Oh my god, thank God. So that's going to be pretty interesting. I don't think we'll really know much more about it till we actually get to play it.
Everyone's looking at chat because Aardvark's swearing.
Yeah.
I
was like, wait, what is that?
It's quite... The auto mod is set very high. Aardvark said bitch and bombers, and it didn't like it. So, so let's talk about the world. Little snippets of the world. It looked amazing. The stone temple, like phenomenal. The colors and the beautiful red stone looks so good.
I'll just be staring at it for 20 minutes, I reckon. Just sitting there, just
it was just phenomenal.
Okay.
Housing in me was paying attention to the rugs on the floor. They were gorgeous. It's like, I'm sure that they'll be in the game. They did say that there is a house. And if you watch the video, you can pause it where they show the world map, and you can actually see a house icon, and it's up in it's not Riften. What's the name of the city at the north?
Eastmarch?
Something starting with R. Please excuse my lack of lore knowledge. Anyway, so no, it's in Elsweyr. So the city that's closest to Dune. It starts with R. Anyway. The northeast of the map of Elsweyr had a house in it. So, and they did say it's not ready to be seen yet. So I would think that it won't actually be in this first round of the PTS. They have done that before, where there's no house in the first round. It only pops up in the second or third round of the PTS. So I think that's probably likely. Let's talk trials.
I actually made notes.
You made notes about the trials. Good job, Matt.
Yeah, so I did only watch that today. I don't know how I missed that was like a thing, but
it was pretty early.
It looks
actually,
really good. Like they were saying they've taken on board a lot of the feedback from trials players that more of Lorcage is a good length of trial.
That's excellent.
Like we've had 2 mini trials. Do they call Cloud Rest a mini trial? But even so, like it's
a
Yeah.
mini trial.
you
No
sort of
trash.
have there's no trash pools. There's just a few like side bosses and then the main boss. And Asylum works the same way. And then the hard mode is to defeat, you know, multiples of those bosses at the same time, right? So they can end up being quite short. And if you do them like when you're good at them, you can run the whole trial in, you know, less than 10 minutes. Some of the really top tier groups like smash them out so quickly
Mhm.
because it's essentially one fight. And then on the flip side, you have Halls of Fabrication, which takes forever. Like the speed run is 40 minutes. You know, most groups take an hour and a half, 2 hours, like to run through that. Like it's really long. And there's what, 1, 2, 3. There's like 5 bosses in there. So more of Lorcage is very popular for being kind of a middle point where there's a sequence of bosses, but it's not too long. You can get the whole thing done in sort of half an hour.
Yeah, it's a
They
lovely
basically
trial.
copy that formula. So we've got 3 bosses, and then like trash pools in between. It's sort of linear, but they did say you can split into 2. Like you have to beat the side bosses, both of them, before you beat the last boss.
Yeah.
So you don't stack them up like you do in Asylum, but you can do them in either order. So you can do one then the other, which is a really good option for groups that are learning, because you can practice one boss. Like you can just get in and practice that boss right away. You don't have to, you know, beat this boss to then practice the next one. And then when you've got,
Yes.
you know, when you're clearing both of those side bosses, you're able to then get through to the last boss, which is really cool. They also said, I remember they teased the fact that there will be hard modes for the side bosses as well, which they said includes basically the main boss comes and like helps out. So I don't know if that'll be kind of foreshadow the mechanics for the last fight in the same way that you know, like in Asylum, like Felms and Lothus have the same mechanics. You just have to do them at the same time. And they also mentioned that you have to complete the hard modes on the side bosses to unlock the hard mode on the final boss.
Yes,
so
that's
you
right.
Can't
So you can't
just
dive straight in.
so you have to kind of work your way. You have to progress through the hard modes, which is really interesting. There's lots of replay in this trial, which I think is really cool. You know, you don't just clear it and then like start working on a hard mode. Like you kind of level up, I guess, as you go through, which sounds really fun. What else have I got here? There's a skin just for clearing on Vet, which is cool. Vet Asylum gives you nothing, like for clearing it on +0, right? Like you don't, you get purple gear, I think, but you don't get the new weapons, you don't get the skin. Like there's basically no point doing it except as progress towards ultimately +2, because +1 again doesn't really give you anything. And Cloud Rest is a little better, but still there's not a lot of reward for clearing it on Vet unless you're going to do hard mode. So they've added the skin to the Vet clear, and there's a mount which they said was for like the whole thing. So I don't know if that's just
book, I think
They
it was
said
called.
it's doing all of the achievements for the trial.
Yeah,
So,
so I'm not sure what that's going to include. Like
All at
Mortal
once.
has a
No
similar
deaths.
thing, the Dramathra Destroyer, which is separately you need to do, obviously clear it, you need the speed run, you need the hard mode, and then there's a couple of extra achievements as well. So there's Fang Focus, which involves going through Lunar Phase, and I think you have to do Void Avoided, which is to do with the players running the back room.
okay.
So curious to see, but see, more of Lorcage doesn't have a speedrun no death hard mode at the same time achievement. There isn't one, whereas Halls of Fabrication and Asylum and Cloud Rest all do. So I'm curious to see how many achievements they put under that global achievement to get them out. But it's worth noting that, with the exception of the Indrik, this is the first time in 5 years that Elder Scrolls Online has had a mount that you can obtain from an in-game achievement. It's never happened before. There's been skins and costumes and personalities and pets and everything but mounts. And the Indrik was the first mount, aside from horses, that you could get without spending crowns. And now we've got one that's exclusively tied to achievements. So that's really, as an achievement hunter and a cosmetics person, that's really exciting.
Exciting, yeah. No, absolutely.
Okay,
that
I'm
should
done.
be
That's all my notes.
cool. Hey, Nara. Actually, and
I'm
I'd like
just
to say,
paying attention to chat right now.
yes, no. Stam Romancer.
No.
I expect somebody to use that name for their necromancer.
Oh, it's
I'd like to say thank you to everybody who
I'm
is
gonna
actually
call my
hanging out in chat.
romancer.
Hello. Math
You
romancer.
better.
Yeah.
oh,
I actually
man.
will. I like that.
So it is in fact the 5th anniversary of Elder Scrolls Online right now, and we are all celebrating the anniversary festival with cake and Ritz. I just want to go around the circle and see what people's favorite memory from ESO. What's kept you here for 5 years? Like, when did you start playing? What brought you into the game, and what's kept you here? Angry, you go first.
Okay, so funny story. I've said this in my chat multiple times. I don't know if you guys have heard it before, but I used to play a lot of Skyrim back like on my computer, which actually had a CD-ROM, so I could actually put in the game. Which is
Oh yes, no CD-ROMs.
on my
Right?
laptop.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes. Yep.
So I played Skyrim for countless hours, and I actually wanted to play it on an Xbox because I initially had an Xbox 360. So I was like, okay, I want to play this on Xbox now. So I went to EB, saw in the bargain bin Elder Scrolls, and I'm like, oh, that's Skyrim. So I picked it up, went to the counter, and the guy at the counter says, oh, you need a Xbox Live for this. I'm like, yeah, whatever. You know, because I already had it, and I went home and I put it in, and all of a sudden it's just different music. I'm like, oh yeah, it came up with no Bethesda and all that. I was like, okay, so this is Skyrim, right? Anyway, so I put it in, and no, it was actually Elder Scrolls Online. Didn't realize. So I accidentally bought this game on the Xbox, and I've never
When
looked
was
back
that?
since.
Did you
Oh,
say
that
when
is the
was?
best story.
Sorry?
I'm
When?
just wondering when. Like, yeah, when did you actually pick it up?
It would have been when
Like,
It
it was in the
would've been-
bargain bin. Obviously, it wasn't, on release.
yeah, it was $10. Yeah. It was before Morrowind. I think it was when one of the newest DLCs came out. I think it was when Falkreath came out. I think I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is
and
the
then
best story.
I
And has it not
I
been the
haven't
best
was
$10
bargain
you
bin,
ever
yeah.
spent?
It was hell yeah, it was $10. Bought the
Absolutely.
game, and then I realized all these DLCs are coming out, and I had no idea about PvP. So I was like, okay. I initially made an EP, right? Ugh. I made an EP tune. It was a Dragon Knight Argonian, and I went into PvP for the first time and started zerging, as you do.
Yeah.
And
You gotta
EP
start
doesn't
somewhere.
zerg.
I know.
Oh,
right?
everybody's
It
gotta
takes
start
That's what
somewhere.
he does.
And I started zerging, and I just started spamming Stonefist at the back of a Zerg. That's pretty much how I started my PvP.
Isn't that what DKs do in PvP? That's
Yeah,
that's
pretty
my
much. And I was like, oh, we're gonna go get them. Like, I was so like into it, So I'm just like CCing all these people, and everyone's just like dragon leaping them and doing all that crazy
So
stuff.
you were
yeah,
performing a
that's
valuable role in the raid, Angry, is what I would
I
describe
was.
that as. Yes.
Yeah, and then I took a DC to the face, and then I just started playing DC from now on. So
God.
yeah, that's what happened.
awesome.
One day she'll
Okay.
get to 80.
Maybe
No.
I don't know.
Come
We're
back.
gonna do the rounds.
Come back to the red side. We're the best.
I
Matt,
don't know.
what's your creation story?
Yeah, my origin story. Well, I was a single player Elder Scrolls person going back to Morrowind, which I picked up kind of late. It had been out for probably 4 or 5 years, I think, when I actually started playing. And I played through all the other single player games, and then I had some friends that were really excited about this Elder Scrolls Online game that was coming out.
Ooh.
And I read this article in this gaming magazine. I was like, it just looks like World of Warcraft, which I wasn't really interested in. And I'd never played any online games. There was, I think at that point it was speculation, but they were talking about like having to pay to play it like after you'd bought it, and I was like, what? What? Pay a subscription to play it? Like, that's just absurd.
Yeah.
So I was like, nope, not interested. And then the game came out on pre-order, and all my friends were pre-ordering it, and there was this Imperial Edition with this adorable little mud crab, and suddenly I started getting FOMO, which wasn't a thing back then, but I now recognize that's what it was.
Yeah.
And so I pre-ordered the Imperial Edition, and then played in like the last couple of betas, and there was early access. So I was there on like launch day when it was like load screens took like 10 minutes, and everyone was wearing the brown, like the soul-shriven rags, and there was no armor dying, so like everybody was brown. Like the entire game was brown. It was crazy. And then my friends all stopped playing after like a week. And so I played a lonely old single player me running, and I was fine with that because I'd played single player games in the past, so I didn't even think anything of it. And then probably I did take a break for a little while, and then the game, when it dropped the subscription, that kind of gave me, I didn't have a really problem with the subscription, but there was just other reasons why I stopped playing, and dropping the subscription meant I could kind of ease back into it a little. And so this is probably about maybe a year after launch. I happened to be in PvP, which is really unusual for me, and I ran into some random person that was like, hey, you're Australian, join this guild. So I joined the Blades of Vengeance, which was the start of something very different for me. And then suddenly I went from like a lurker to just hopping in chat. I remember the first time we jumped in TeamSpeak, and there was all these people talking, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so scared.
Yeah. No, the first time ever,
It just kind of grew from there, and I became part of this community. I started lurking this business stream while I was at work. Sorry, work. And Miss Biz introduced me to like the international community, and then she was like, come to Boston, come to PAX, and I met the devs. And so when you say what's kept me playing, obviously, like I need new content. I do. I've done most of what the game has to offer, and so new content like trials and dungeons in particular is very exciting for me. But the thing that keeps me logging back in still pretty much every day is the people that I play with. Yeah, so I love you guys.
Hashtag ESO fam.
Except when we're dead, you know, on the side of the road.
Yeah, that's right.
Down and all that, you know.
Yeah.
Cyrodiil is a different matter.
Cyrodiil
Speaking
is
of Cyrodiil, Taku, tell us your origin story.
Oh, my origin story.
Oh,
yes.
yes.
Well, so it was a long time. I was a long time Elder Scrolls fan. So I started with Morrowind on the Xbox, and then went and explored some of the older stuff a little bit. But obviously, Morrowind being a choose your own race, style, character, personality sort of thing it was awesome. Then Skyrim was fantastic, and I played that and got all the achievements, 100% achievement unlocked until Hearthfire came out. And then I went, do I want to go there? Yeah, and I followed the progress of everything to do with the Elder Scrolls Online, but I never purchased it. At the time that came out, I was in the process of buying a house. So if you've ever done that as a first-home buyer, it's
in Australia, no less.
In Australia, it's quite a struggle when it comes to finances. So I purchased the Elder Scrolls Online, and I was originally looking to buy it on Xbox, but then I built a PC, and on the 25th of August 2015, I jumped online and bought the game, and that's where my journey started. And I was kind of lonely for quite a while. I joined a guild, Minions of the Dominion or something like that, and I remember like trying to learn the game, and I'd ask things in chat, and I get no response. I'm like, what's this mean, and how do I do that? And just nothing, like no response for ages and ages and ages. And then I came across 3 other guys that were just doing I can't even remember how I met them, but just randomly doing it. I was a healer, it was a tank, and 2 DPS. So we started running dungeons once a week, just the 4 of us for a while. And then one of them dropped off, sort of thing, and I saw the Blades of Vengeance guild recruiting happening in zone chat. So I'm like, well, I'm going to drop this other one, and I'll go into this as my primary guild. And yeah, so it sort of started from there. And it's definitely the community that's coming back to this game. Definitely. The content's great. Like it seems like too good to be true. You've got good friends, good experiences with people that you play with. You can play with people locally and overseas. depending on when you play. But and the content just keeps coming. So you're sort of on that on World of Warcraft that I played many years ago. Well, the game was okay. The community was not as good. There were small groups that I had good time with, but the grind in the game seemed to be so bad that it just seemed to be like, and not to bag out Blizzard, I do love some of their games. It seemed to be like it was just about getting money from you and making you spend as much time as you can to spend money on that subscription so that you didn't get that content finished quickly. Which seemed to be different with the Elder Scrolls Online. The VR grind was a struggle, but as you see, that's gone. So they do listen to their community, which is one thing I really liked about the game.
I've never played World of Warcraft, so I can only compare it to ESO, actually.
I dabbled
I just hear all the bad things. So
for
obviously
2 weeks
Same.
of a free trial, and it was not fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
I came from...
Your story.
This is my origin story. So, yeah, I started Elder Scrolls with Morrowind as well. The box is on the shelf back there. I've still got the original box. With the original poster, I might add.
Oh, the map.
Oh, yeah, I
That
got the
map is
original
so
map.
cool.
Yes,
Like, you
actually.
It,
What?
Because it...
quest markers, right? They would just
Yes.
like go down this canyon and then turn left this tree, and you had to physically pull out the map and be like, okay, this
Oh
canyon.
my god.
Oh, so this is... Actually, I've got all
Wow.
of the expansion maps as well. So this is the Solstein map.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, and
So, yeah.
actually, because the in-game map wasn't great, right? Like,
No.
it's not very detailed.
No.
So that map was actually helpful. not
Yes.
just
Crazy.
repetitive.
And I've
Yeah.
got guides and all sorts. Anyway, massive Elder Scrolls fan. Massive. Spent so much time in Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim. Skyrim's my least favorite out of the three of them, actually. And then I heard a rumor, and it was like, Elder Scrolls, they're gonna make it an online game, and I went, it's never gonna happen. You're right. Though, if you watch the TES, the 25-year anniversary video where the devs are chatting, including Todd Howard, Matt Firor was employed when Oblivion is still in production, when they're releasing Oblivion DLCs still. So he's been employed way back when to actually start getting Elder Scrolls Online up and running, like years before Skyrim anyway, which I thought was really interesting. Anyway,
Yeah.
that was an interesting tidbit. So when I heard it was real, it was like, oh my god, like full on hype.
Overwhelming.
And I was lucky enough to be in the beta. So not the early beta, but kind of the second round of the beta. And so I was also on the original beta forums as well. And that is actually where I met a whole bunch of really lovely people who all played in this time zone, some of whom I'm still friends with. Like, Manic is one of those people. Joe Nobles is another one. And some of the other people who don't play ESO anymore, but I'm still in contact with. We formed a guild, and that guild like lasted for I don't know, a couple of years, until kind of a bunch of people kind of went, no, I'm kind of done, which is fine. People move on and they have different things in their lives, but like there's a little central core of us who still play, and we still catch up and we're still together, and it's just lovely. So I think that's one of the things that's kept me in the game so long. I mean, the content's amazing. Naturally, I kind of mostly started playing sort of single player because, yeah, didn't come from an MMO background. But it really, oddly enough, it's still the people, really, who keep you coming back. And the game's ability to form those connections with other people is part of it. I'm just looking at the dropped frames going, oh dear. Please don't crash. So anyway, so it's yeah, I think that's a big part of it. So it's super, like it's such a good game. And I always tell new people, no, it's okay, you can play it like Skyrim. It's okay, you don't need to. You can turn off Twitch, you can turn off the zone chat. You can literally just pretend everybody else in the game is an NPC. But when you're ready, if you want more, it's there for you. So,
There's so much more.
yeah, if you can make those
Yeah.
connections, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
thank
I
you,
think
Nara.
the mega servers, like we complain about not having an oceanic server, and like for a lot of things it does cause issues. But from a social perspective, the mega server makes such a massive difference.
It's lovely.
There's-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
There just wouldn't be enough people in the game if it was just us. So whilst I would love to play with, sub 100 milliseconds of latency.
Yeah, they actually released a statement on Twitter a couple months ago about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that very specifically said.
But yeah, being able to
explaining.
play with
Yeah.
people that are, in the same city as me or the same country or the other side of the world without having to like hop servers and stuff, it just is quite seamless.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just.
Yeah,
Notice
we
everybody's
just need
off
to
center
get
for some reason.
the,
There we go.
Yeah, gotta get the sharks to stop eating those.
Yeah, eating the cables. I know, right? That would make it so much better. So, speaking of the 25th anniversary, I was lucky enough being in Sydney where the Bethesda offices are. Sorry, everybody. I did actually get to go to the 25th celebration party. It was so nice. I'm so sorry, everybody else.
Noel actually messaged me
Sure
saying,
it
"Hey, are
was.
you in Sydney?" I'm like, "No."
No. So,
Yeah.
got myself. I
I
actually have.
Oh, wow.
I got one too.
You
Wait,
got a griffin?
can you see
You got a
it?
griffin?
Oh, what?
Yeah, I got a
Oh,
griffin.
you do have a griffin
Oh,
down there.
Netch.
You got a netch. Netch is
I've
nothing.
got
now.
to know you. I gotta know you.
The pop
We've
vinyl
all
now
got
is
toys,
lovely.
okay?
I got
Yes.
one too. I got this at PaxEast actually when they were handing stuff out.
Oh, yeah. No, I had to leave early. So I was very, very happy. So it was a lovely time. I got this. I got a nice T-shirt. I got to record a message for the devs in the US, which will be put together with everybody else in the night who recorded messages, which is like really cool. So I actually got to say thank you into a camera. Thank you for this game, which is so amazing. Actually, for all of the games, not just Elder Scrolls Online, but all of the Elder Scrolls. They've been amazing. You guys were all on the big screen. They had
Here we stole the show.
yes, about every 15 minutes. We were all asked, along with some other Australian and New Zealand streamers who play Elder Scrolls games, to record our thoughts for a video, which got put together and then released on the Bethesda Facebook, the Australian Bethesda Facebook page. And it was it was really good. So it was fantastic. There was skooma, Nara. It was amazing.
No,
It was
IRL screamer.
oh yeah,
And
it
I
was,
didn't have any, so
no, it was the very
can't blame me
good.
for it.
But just the one because I had to
What
get
was it?
home
Was it like
after.
cider or what
It was
it?
no, it was elderflower liqueur, lime juice, tequila, and then like a sugar rim. It was
Oh, I'd have to replace it with vodka. Like the
Oh,
freaking
no,
I can't do
I'm-
tequila.
oh no. I'm rather partial to tequila. Yes, that is an excellent point, Digital Aardvark. So, if because obviously we're going to have a number of Australian people watching this, if you are based in Sydney on the long weekend in June, or you're going to be in Sydney on the Monday of the long weekend, when the E3 presentation or the BE3 presentation is happening, Bethesda will be
It's like you're in
organising, a simulcast, and it's likely to be at Fox Studios at Moore Park. So they stick it up on the big screen in one of the they rent out the movie theatre, they put it up on the big screen. There are giveaways, there are prizes. You get to watch E3 with a live audience of your fellow fans. If that's something that sounds like you would like to go to, keep an eye on their Twitter and or their Facebook. You'll basically, it's free, but you'll have to like book the tickets because obviously they can only have so many people. It is 18 plus, I think usually, but it is awesome. Hey, Tesla. So I went to the one last year. I met Digital Aardvark and Digital Kitty there, face to face even, and we had a fantastic time. Definitely more Elder Scrolls Online fans are needed. It was an audience filled with Quake and Fallout and other people. So We were told by
Yeah.
Kelsey Gamble, one of the community managers, she really appreciated our presence because when ESO came up, there were cheers, loud ones. so
Yes.
yeah, if you're
Kelsey and
Yes.
I'll come.
yes,
Yeah, I'm
I'd
down to
love
go.
to.
Jeez, I'll go
yeah,
for the
it
weekend.
was
Oh,
it
yeah.
was super fun. It was really good fun. So
Sponsor us.
that's right. So
Oh,
last year it
I'd
was
love to come
hosted.
to the one in Sydney.
It was really good. It was a lot of
Actually
fun.
gonna be there.
Yeah, if you are you going to be there in Sydney that weekend?
I'll be in
No, it's gonna be
LA.
Oh,
in
you're
America.
you're being
You
the
won the,
real one. That's right.
Do you want to
Tell us
explain
more,
that, Daku, real
Daku.
quick?
Because he's a
Tell us
big
more.
nerd.
So, I don't know how many of you remember. There was a competition in the last quarter of 2018. It was called Our Elder Scrolls ANZ, and it was to follow on with the Our Elder Scrolls theme that was started to show about the hashtag Our Elder Scrolls, to talk about the community and how good they are. And it was to create an artwork, tell a story, or some sort of production content creators to create their beautiful content on why Our Elder Scrolls ANZ is the best community in the world. So I made a video. And to cut that story as short as possible, I won the grand prize. Yeah, a trip to E3.
So cool, Daku. So cool.
Oh, and
Do you know how
I've
many
never
entries
been to
there
the US. There were quite a few because I saw all the runner-ups there. There was quite a few runner-ups and that, because it wasn't just on Twitter; it was on Facebook and everywhere else as well, all the social media platforms.
I'm actually trying to look for the video now. I'll see if I can post it in chat.
Oh, yes, please. That would be good. Yeah, so that's way cool. So last year the Sydney one, Barjo was hosting, and he did a great job, as Barjo often does. But he's now based in Adelaide. So unless they're going to fly him in again, but Bethesda, if you're watching, if you need somebody to host, I'm totally free that weekend. I'll do it.
I love
Fine.
it. I volunteer tribute.
I volunteer. But in it's the guide salute.
Oh jeez.
So 2 weekends, something the Tamriel Downunder team is doing something very exciting and very cool. Daku, do you want to talk about what's happening? It is 2 weekends. It's not this weekend. No, it's in 2 weekends. Yes.
Oh god, is it? No, it's not.
No, it's okay.
Yes. So the Tamriel Downunder team inspired me to do something for Australia, because I've been in a few charity events, and this is what we're all about here. This is what's happening. Been in a few charity events that have been based overseas. So we had the National Breast Cancer Foundation. We recently had one, the Aroa. I'm saying it wrong. Aroa for New Zealand. IC does the JDRF, which is fantastic as well. And I thought, let's focus on something that's really close to my heart and a lot of Australians, which is our children. We explored a few options there, and in the end, we've decided to go with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which is worldwide, but we're going with the, I suppose, Australian chapter, you can call it, of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So what we're doing is we're streaming for 72 hours straight, and no, I will be asleep at some
Not us
point
individually,
in that.
yes.
So I thought we can do it. 72 hours between the four of us. No, we have 14 streamers from across the world helping. And while we started as the Tamriel Downunder team, I've started to build, I suppose it's something that I sort of got into streaming to begin with, was to give back to the community a little bit and to feed my massive ego. Other than that, I wanted to try.
Miss VG's in chat. I'm sure she could comment.
She's like, right next to her.
So this is the first charity thing that we have organised, and IC
mostly thanks to Daku, by the way.
Yes.
Well, IC held my hand in the first meeting when we met with Bethesda and Make-A-Wish Foundation, and we've organised. It's almost 100% organised, but it's all counting down the clock. We've got the ads going out. Make sure you retweet everything that comes from this channel, the Tamriel Downunder. We've started the brand, I suppose, of calling it Playing for Joeys, which we could potentially take forward into the future. So it's a more familiar brand as we do charities for online streaming. We might try and venture outside of just Elder Scrolls later in the future, but for now, it's all Elder Scrolls based streamers. 14 of us all around the world, going around the clock for 72 hours, raiding one to the next, and we have drops enabled. Bethesda have come through for us in more ways than one. Like, they've been fantastic.
They have been
and
amazing.
have organized drops for us. And Twitch have also jumped on board. So a lot of this too is Just Giving, the online donation platform. They got Make-A-Wish Foundation onboarded. They talked with us and Bethesda, and they also spoke to Twitch. So Twitch is going to put us four and the Forge Breaker, another Australian streamer, on the front page of twitch.tv for all Australian and New Zealand traffic.
Oh boy.
So
it's very cool. It's super cool.
So we're getting a lot of benefits out of this, but remember, it's for the kids. We want so if you can, come and give some cash, please. $1 is all we ask. And we've got some prizes. I got some little prizes.
We have prizes.
Some out of my own pocket just to give away because I want to bring some incentives to stream. I've tried to find some sponsors. So if there's any sponsors out there that want to donate a grand prize, let me know.
Yep. Or if you know anybody, or if you have any other contacts of who we could approach to get a grand prize. We've definitely got small prizes like throughout the streams. But yeah, if anybody knows anybody who could help us with a grand prize, that would be amazing. So
if you know a guy.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's and that's where it's going. So a lot of familiar names. If you go and check out the tweets and the links and that, you'll see a lot of familiar names. I see, I believe at the bottom of this channel you got the donation link or something there. Do you?
I do not. That would have been a good idea.
All right. Look on mine, and look, it's at least on my channel at the moment.
Yes. Thank you. Also, Nara's noticed I did a spelling mistake on the Twitch name, but that's all right. We're mostly through it now, so we'll just leave it there. So, but we will have donation links. Like, we'll actually be getting going a lot more on the advertising, sort of from now 2 weeks time, basically. So we're going to ramp up all the talking and the advertising for it as well. So just keep an eye on the respective Twitters or other socials. Oh, thank you, Deku. Perfect. And we will be getting going with that. So, but yeah, do shout out, do retweet those links. We've got a whole bunch of amazing streamers, and everybody's kind of organizing a bunch of giveaways as well within their own sort of slots. So it is worthwhile checking out everybody as well. I'm going to be giving away the digital code for this fantastic griffin, who is so cute. You're not getting the fairy one. I'm really sorry, but I will be giving away the code for the in-game pet.
Oh, there's a code? I didn't get one.
What?
She threw the tag out.
Oh,
did you throw the
out? I got it when I was at PAX, and I didn't know there was a code.
There's a well.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Well, Angry, go in the draw. You might win one.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So yeah, so everybody is organizing donations, whether that might be in-game gold or other time, like in-game time is something that people might donate as well. All sorts of things. So yeah, Daku's got, there we go. Did you see it? It was really quick. The converted torchbug pets. Yep.
Oh, I got them too.
Yep. So there we go. There are torchbug pets going out. So there's all sorts of giveaways that will be happening during the stream, and they'll be happening, you know, as we hit certain donation goals. So, so yeah, please join us.
And I'm also going to give away a Xiaomi Mi Bluetooth speaker. So that's what I'll be giving away.
Oh, sweet. Very nice.
And I have these. Can you see them?
Oh,
Make-A-Wish teddy bears.
The super cool. They are so adorable. They are really nice.
And I'm touching him in an inappropriate place.
Yes, maybe.
That was the first one I'm going to give away. Yep.
It's an IRL non-combat pet.
Yeah, there we go. Just
there we go.
Looks pretty.
So yeah, so please please join us in 2 weeks for that stream. So we will be back for a Tamriel Downunder Twitch chat again, probably
Next week. PTS is coming out next week.
Yeah, I think we might miss next. Well, it depends on when we do it. So usually, there'll be one soon because the PTS will come out, and then we will have a play and roll up some necromancers. Mythideer, you did miss most of it. We are just wrapping up now, but there will be a VOD. So you should be able to catch up, including the technical hiccups at the start. Please do follow the channel. That would be amazing. You've already followed? Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Yeah, we definitely would like to get 50 follows on this channel, and we'll try and get enough streams happening that we can get
Once we hit 50 followers, we'll probably pass around and do some little specials between each of us just to get up the hours and get this in affiliate.
No, did you lie back? I'm not your real mum. That's true. So please do keep an eye out on the socials for when we do another stream. We will be talking more about the post PTS testing, and we will. Yeah, I think that's all. So thank you very much.
Any auto hosts as well, much appreciated.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you could add us to your auto host list, Tamriel Downunder for Twitch, and no, just R if it's on Twitter as well, because there's a limit apparently to the length of the handle on Twitter.
Oh, is that why the E is missing?
That's why the E is missing.
Yes.
Yes, it's really freaking annoying. Anyway.
And you know what's also annoying? On Twitter, I can't put Daku as my name. It's too short.
It's too short. I know, right?
I know. I saw that.
It's also annoying.
Other people that have like 4 letters, I'm like, okay, too short.
I'll take one of those, Angry Wolf. That'll be fine. Thank you.
I mean, I don't even have one run. I could do a mole run. I could do a V-mole run. I could do that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, that's true. And actually, that's true. I can certainly give away some normal training trial like stuff. Definitely doing that. No, I can't give you any skins, but I can teach you what to do in the trials. That is perfectly fine.
Map giveaway skin.
Map giveaway too.
I was just thinking about it. I'm not sure if we're quite ready for like, skin carries. I feel like we should be able to get things done in like half an hour. That still sometimes take us an hour and a half. I'd like to say I think we've covered everything, haven't we? We've chatted about everything we've got to chat about now. I don't think we've missed anything. So yeah, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who's rocked up tonight to watch us and to chat with us and to keep chatting. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to everybody who's followed as well. Very much appreciated. Do join us, follow us on Twitter. That's probably the place where we are talking most about what's coming up. The events on this channel will show, even if you're not on Twitter at all, if you follow on here, the events will be updated whenever the next stream on this channel is coming. And it will convert to your time zone whenever that is. So yeah, thank you everybody. Been awesome. We really enjoy doing this, by the way. It really is like something we
bit of banter. I love it. Yeah, it's more natural.
Look, I'm much better at the sitting and the talking.
Go to.
I'm much better at the sitting than talking and then actually doing the dungeons. Though at least we managed to get through the one for the Aroha for New Zealand one.
That was kind of close.
That was good. You got me. Yeah, that all works. So thank you everybody. I believe Daku is going live very shortly. Is that right? Angry Wolf, are you going live as well?
Yes, I will be as well. Yes.
So you can fight between us, or you can stream and watch both.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Watch them both.
Multi-stream link.
You can ring
both at the same time.
Yes. I think the multi-stream works.
I'm gonna make a salad and go to dinner.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Wait, oh, okay. So it's not a restaurant. I thought you were going to a restaurant.
No, it's a family gathering. And I was supposed to make the salad before the stream, but I got distracted watching.
Made a tea instead.
It's a salad.
I did make tea instead.
Well, we were mistaken then. Yeah. We thought you had friends. It's just family.
Oh,
it's just
yeah, we
fun.
were thinking you had, you know, like a fancy night out or something, but
No.
that's right.
Oh, that's
So-
social life.
Yeah, thank you everybody. Yeah, give us all a follow. Give this channel a follow. Follow us on Twitter individually and the Tamriel Downunder. That'd be amazing. We will chat to you in a week or two, I would think.
Yes. Stay tuned.
Stay
Updates and all that
tuned.
on the Twitters.
Yes, pretty much.
Fairly well.
Bye.
Is gonna be outro music? What happened?
Hello, it's Icy. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please do subscribe here on YouTube. Please also follow me on Twitch, where I stream 4 days a week. Details are below, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hello, it's Icy. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you saw, please do subscribe here on YouTube. Please also follow me on Twitch, where I stream 4 days a week. Details are below, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.